What's up, everyone? This is James Quilty. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Your Upline. Hey, I want to ask you something. So, have you ever gone through like a business setback, or have you kind of stepped away from network marketing for a while, and then you get kind of excited and you want to get back into it, or everything just kind of imploded or crashed, right? And you have to start all over. So, what exactly do you do to start getting sales, start getting team members, and to get yourself up on the leaderboard and start ranking and get back to where you were before everything fell apart? What would you do? Well, in this episode, I'm going to tell you what I would do to get back up on top. So let's get to it. How do you build a successful business in network marketing when everyone you know thinks it's a scam? How do you achieve that dream lifestyle when 99% of distributors quit within their first year, broke and worse off than when they started? If you ask the so-called experts or talk to your family and friends, they will tell you that it's impossible, that it can't be done. But it is being done, and it's happening each and every day by a select group of people that you probably never even heard of. My name is James Quilty. Join me as I seek to find out how these elite few beat the odds and succeed in network marketing. Welcome to Beyond Your Upline. So we've all had a situation in the course of building our business where things just don't go the way that we want it, right? Sales start to drop, team members start leaving, the business just kind of, implodes or crumbles, or you have a company that either was not doing things on the up and up, or they were going through a lawsuit and they had to shut down, right? I mean, whatever the reason, we all run through these cycles, and that's just part of being in business. But what do you do when you're down in the valley and you have to start trekking back up that mountain in order to rebuild your business, right? Do you go back to your same family and friends? Well, we know what that's going to do, because if your business was built around your personal contacts, right, they're not going to want to jump back in with you, especially if everything imploded. Most people wouldn't do that. So how do you start acquiring customers, building team members after everything implodes? Well, before I kind of share what I would do, I want to share a quick story with you where this principle was actually presented to me. I didn't realize it at the time, but then years later, I actually implemented this to build our fitness business and our last network marketing company. So after I had gone through my divorce, right, and I was just in a really bad place, I was really depressed. I remember I actually purchased Tony Robbins' program. At that time, it was a 30-day program on CDs, and it was called Personal Power 2. Right, and I had seen the infomercial. It was a commercial on TV. For those of you who don't know what infomercials were, um, and I was seeing all these people getting results and turning their lives around, and building businesses, and getting increases in their job, and just having all sorts of success. And I was like, well, you know what? I need to do something. And so I ended up purchasing that program, and it was really interesting on how he had that program set up. So when the package arrived, it was this big, huge case, and it had a success journal, and it had all of these handouts and stuff, and it had this huge case of 30 CDs. And the intro CD, I went ahead and I put it in, and Tony introduces himself, and he talks about the successes that he has had in his life applying these principles, and how he's helped hundreds and thousands of other people, and how it's going to help you if you follow the plan. And then he gave the plan, and he said, so you're going to put in one CD each day, you're going to listen to it, and then you're going to get some homework. Don't wait. Go to your success journal that had been provided to you, and then do the homework. All right. And then that's all that you need to do. And so each day there would be a presentation, right? And they usually ran between like 40 minutes to about 60 minutes, right? But it was only Monday through Friday, or there was only 5 days. And then on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, he had these tapes that you would put in, which were basically subliminal tapes where it would coach you into being more successful and kind of developing that habit while you sleep to reinforce the things that you had learned like throughout that week, right? So there wasn't any like training that Saturday and Sunday. That's what those subliminal tapes were for, right? And so you would do this for 30 days. And to be honest, that first week it was kind of tough. Things working and then just not feeling up to it, or the time that I had set aside. I would miss that time, and then towards the latter part of the day, you know how that is when you start something new, you are really super excited, but then life just starts to happen to you. And then once you miss that scheduled time that you had set aside, it's really hard to get into it once your day starts, happening, and everything, starts, progressing along. So it was really a struggle to really stick to it those first 2 weeks, right? And I think I had to restart, I think a couple times, but anyway, so once I got past that first week and a half, no, I would say that those first 2 weeks, then I really started to get some momentum. It started to be a habit, and it was I would wake up in the morning, I would do my morning workout, and then I would do my training with Tony, and then I would get ready for work, and off I would go. So I remember that very last CD. It was the last day, day 30, and I can't really remember the training, but I remember he was like, he was talking about how congratulate. I want to congratulate you. I know that you've been working hard. You've made it to this point. Most people don't make it to this point, so you are already a success. You are already in the top, 5%, and he was just really encouraging. But what I remember specifically was after I had finished that training program, and that very next day, there was no CD to listen to. I felt this sense of almost like loss, right? Because I had been listening to Tony for 30 days. It has become a habit. I felt like he was like my personal friend, right? And we had this special time together. And so when that ended, it was like almost like a death. It was like I was like missing him, even though I never met him, right? Which seems kind of weird, but when you've been listening to somebody for consistently for any amount of time, especially for like 30 days, you get into that habit and you're looking for more. And I was like, well, what's next? Well, what's I do? And fast forward, it was about 5 or 6 years after that. I had gotten out of the military. I had met my current wife, and we were starting to build our fitness business, right? Our boot camp training business. And I remember my coach at the time, because we had actually purchased a licensing boot camp, right? And they had business trainings and stuff like that, for us to follow. That was part of the package that we bought. And one of the trainings in there was this is the fastest way to actually get people into your facility and to get an influx of cash, so that you can start growing and building your business and not have to struggle, right? And it was a 6-week challenge, and they had it all laid out, and they had all the market materials, and I remember like, oh, this sounds kind of familiar. And I remember I was like, wow, this is kind of like what I was doing with Tony Robbins, that personal power too. And so we launched this 6-week challenge, and that was actually what gave us that foundation, and also propelled us to on our way to building six figures. So that first challenge that we ran, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was somewhere around, we because we only had like maybe 5 or 6 people that were coming to our facility at that time. But after the challenge, we had about 15 no we had about 20 people that were coming, and we had 25 people signed up for the challenge, and I think about 18 actually signed up. Right, so yeah, 18 actually signed up. But what was really cool was one, the initial fee, and this is actually what kind of propelled us in our network marketing company with that last company. Because what we had done was, one, they would get the training for 6 weeks, right, and so they would pay the fee for the 6 weeks challenge, and they would get unlimited training just like a member would. But they would also get a meal plan. And what we did was we incorporated the supplements that we were selling from our network marketing company. That was just part of something that they had to purchase, just like their food, right? So they got their supplement guide, they had their meal plan, and they got the training. So we got money from the people that came in for the initial challenge. Then we also got some money from the people that purchased our supplements, which boosted us in our network marketing, company. And then what we got was signups or memberships, monthly memberships on the back end. So it was really successful, and that became the cornerstone for us to really build our fitness business. And it also allowed us to build our network marketing company at the same time, and that's what allowed us to start progressing up the ranks. And so, um, and so, you know. Going back to the question that I had, what would you do after everything imploded? I again would suggest that you run a challenge. And if you look at things that are happening now and what a lot of companies are doing, challenges are very lucrative, but they're also very popular. And the reason for that is the same thing that I experienced with that 30-day program with Tony Robbins. And it was the same thing that my wife and I had created with that 6-week challenge, right? It keeps people engaged. It gives them a reason to show up each and every day. And plus, not only that, you're giving them pieces of information, you're giving them things for them to do. And so they're engaged. It's a lot different than if they just purchase like a regular program with video CDs and they have to go and do it on their own. When you do a challenge and you're doing it with them, they are following along. They're getting engaged. They're getting excited, and the drop-off rate is far less than if you had just if they had just purchased a whole bunch of supplements, or they had just purchased a program all on its own. I can tell you right now that my wife and I would not have been very successful had we not done that 6-week challenge. If we had just packaged all that into just say like an online program or something like that, we wouldn't have been very successful, right? Because we may have gotten some initial sales, but it wouldn't have allowed us to grow as much as we did because there wasn't us interacting with the clients. Does that make any sense? And so the framework on how you would run a challenge with your network marketing company to not only you get customers, but you could also do this with business builders as well. But I'm going to use the customers right now, okay, as the example. So optimally, you want to do like a 5-day challenge, right? And in that challenge, what you want to do is you want to pick one thing that I should say one result that challenge would that the person going through the challenge would be able to achieve, right? And it has to be something simple and very easy to obtain. Meaning, the challenge can't be something like lose 100 pounds, right? I mean, that's going to take some time. You can't do that in 5 days. And anything more than 5 days, people start falling off. People start getting bored. The majority of the people are not going to stick with it. Does that make any sense, right? So 5 days is like the sweet spot. And so what you're going to do is you're going to pick one thing that you are going to, or one result, I should say, that you are going to get for those people. For instance, let's say you are in weight loss, okay? And your package that you have gets people to lose weight. So now, what are all of the things that you can do, or what are all of the things that somebody wants to accomplish on their journey to losing weight, right? Can it be better sleep, or could it be changing their mood? It could be losing their first 5 pounds, right? It could be um, uh, learning how to make really healthy meals in under 5 minutes, right? There has to be an easy result that you can get for them. And so what you're going to do is that's what you're going to be promoting, and it's going to be a free challenge, right? And stick with me because I'm going to give you the framework, and this is how you can incorporate selling them on your network marketing package, right? And this works really well, especially if your package is, sometimes we have like starter packs or we have weight loss packs in companies, which are anywhere from like, $200 all the way up to like 500 and above, right? So this works really well if you want to sell those big packages. Okay, so you're going to promote like a free challenge, and let's just say you're going to get like your 5-pound takedown. The 5-pound takedown challenge. Okay, we're going to teach you how to lose that first or last 5 pounds that you need. All right, in 5 days. Okay, and so that's what you're going to be promoting. And then on Monday, you're going to get all of them. You're going to send them to, I recommend a Facebook group because it's free and it's easy to get people in there and people know about that, right? But you could use, anything where you could just get a group of people and you have them and you have their attention. And so all you're going to do is you're going to pick a time where you're going to go live, right? And you're going to go live on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, all right, on Thursday, and on Friday, right? And here's the kicker. You are going to teach them one aspect of what they need to do in order to get to that end result, whatever that is, right? And all you're going to do is you're just going to teach them on that live, and you're going to pick a time. What's convenient for you? Don't worry about, well, what is it? What is the best that people are going to show up? No. Don't worry. There will be people that will show up. And again, they can have access and you can give them access to the replay. So don't worry about that. All right. So you're going to go live, pick a time that's convenient for you that you would be able to show up each and every day for those 5 days. So you're going to pick and you're going to teach something on Monday. Then you'll pick and teach something on Tuesday. Pick and teach something on Wednesday. Now, here's the thing. On Thursday, what you're going to be doing is this is where you are going to give them that sales pitch. All right. So it would go something like this on Thursday. You're like, I'm so super excited for you guys, to be here. I hope you're getting a lot of value from this challenge. I am giving you everything that I have. I could actually be charging everything that I'm giving you. I could actually, bundle together and actually put this in together for a course that most people will pay, anywhere from, $5 to like $1,000, But I'm giving it to you for free because you guys are the action takers for showing up, and I'm really appreciative and I'm really excited for that. So, but for today, if you don't mind, I want to help you to kind of progress a little bit, progress further, after this challenge. What would be the next step? So, if you don't mind, if I have your permission, I want to give you a very special offer. Is that okay? Is that okay for you? All right, excellent. And then all you're going to do is you are going to present them with the package that you have, which is your network marketing package, right? All right, and it's going to help you to, get better sleep. It's going to help you to lose weight and that last 20 pounds or whatever it is, right? And that Thursday, you're going to go on that sales pitch, okay? Then Friday, you're going to teach them. That's the final day, and you're going to teach them that last whatever it is in order to get them for that result, okay? And then for the next, after that Friday, for that Saturday and that Sunday and that Monday, guess what? Because you have gotten everybody into that group, you should have collected all of their email addresses or contact information. All you're going to be doing is just kind of sending them reminders like, hey, this special package that I presented, that special offer that I presented, it's only going to be available for the next couple of days. And so now you have a reason to be pitching them your network marketing program. Does that make any sense? And this is the framework that a lot of the top marketers are actually using, and they're using it in every single industry. They're using it not only in fitness, they're using it in weight loss, they're using it in network marketing, but they're using it in internet marketing. They're using it in the realtor market. I mean, they're using it in every market. When I saw this, when I was at, I think it was like a year ago. Yeah, it was about a year ago. I actually saw this and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And it was at a network marketing, no, excuse me, it wasn't network marketing. It was at a internet marketing conference. that they were presenting this to, right? And it was funny because when I actually, saw this, I was like, wait a minute, my wife and I were doing this when we started our fitness business 5 years ago. But everyone was like, this is the new thing. And, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe these people that they came up with this. And I started laughing because I was like, they didn't come up with this. I did this like 5 years ago, but again, if you see what other people are doing and you apply that, that is how you can get your business to grow, just like, any other, industry. Does that make any sense? And so, to kind of wrap up this episode, I would say that if anything implodes, or if you want to grow, if you want to hit that next rank, doing a challenge like I just laid out for you, that is the way to do it. That is the surefire way, because you have the people, and what you're doing is that you are building trust, you are developing relationships. Now they have their barriers down and they're more open for you to present an offer for them, for you to sell your packages, right? And that's so much better than you going out into the marketplace going, hey, would you want to buy my package? Hey, do you know of anybody who wants to lose any weight? Hey, do you know anybody that that wants more mental focus, and they can use these ketones? I mean, you see the difference? It's just like what I felt when I was going through that 30-day program with Tony Robbins. I had developed a relationship. I trusted him. And if he had given me another sales pitch at the end of that 30-day CD, I would have purchased it, right? Because he had been giving me value each and every day. He had been teaching me. He had been training me. And that's the same thing with these challenges, right? You set up a 5-day challenge like that, just like I laid out for you, you would develop relationships with people that are coming in. They'll develop trust, and if they're getting value from what you're presenting, guess what? Of course they're going to buy. Now, does that mean everybody is? But absolutely not. But, nobody gets like a perfect sale where they sell everybody. It's just the way that it is. But you're going to get a lot more sales that way, and you're going to develop a relationship of somebody who is presenting value than a typical network marketer, where people are afraid of them, like, oh, they're one of those guys, right? And you'll develop a different relationship. So now they will trust you, and you will be able to sell them more things. You'll be selling more of the products of your company. Or when you do have a big promotion, they will be more apt to listen to you. They may not buy at that challenge, but because they got value from what you gave them, guess what? They will want to purchase from you in the future. And that is how you would build your business. That was how you would get yourself out of a crash, I should say, and rebuilding what was lost. Does that make any sense? So again, I hope you got some value out of this. I just wanted to share that with you. And if you have any questions, please go join our Facebook group. That is where I like to go deep into these concepts that I'm sharing with you on the podcast, where I can give you some visuals and that sort of thing. But for all of the rest of you that are listening, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to go ahead and just share with you the things that I've learned, the things that I'm trying. And I really appreciate all of you. So like I said, if you got some value out of this, if you know somebody that wants to hear this, or you think that they should hear this, please share that. Give us a review. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening. If you want to hear more of how the top income earners are actually building their network marketing business beyond their family and friends, please subscribe so you don't miss any of the secret hacks that I uncover.